my very best. I did want to get into a little bit, man, 50 minutes already. Jesus, peak. All right, so I've been asked a lot lately, as I think is probably very natural in the course of events that we're in, is are what are we doing? What's going on? And I get it from veterans, I get it from people who were left, people who were right, anywhere and everywhere on the spectrum of politics. And it all makes sense, because if only 37% of the people here in Georgia, especially, and very low numbers around the country, I think the overall number around the country was somewhere in the mid 40s, which I think is a bit of an exaggeration. I think what we're seeing is a mass awakening. And I think these numbers kind of prove that. To have lives destroyed on this scale, to see the double standard in media and news, to see this propaganda machine flail and get caught time and time and time again, just lying, overtly lying, to the point where they just don't give a shit anymore. I think people are waking up, and I want to talk about this for a few minutes because I think it is super important. I named the show The Radical Landing, right? And I did that because I think our job as people, especially the anarchists, minarchists, people that are getting into the libertarian understanding of things. And that's the thing, is we're all of those things. We can be, there are some libertarians that are constitutionalists. There are some, and I'd say they're probably more like Justin Amash. I think there are minarchists out there. And I think, more of the minarchists might be people like Tho Bishop and Brakey. And then there's, the Mises Caucus, which is mostly a bunch of anarchists, right? Like, you look at myself, Tom Woods, Dave Smith, all these great people, Scott Horton, and numerous others out there that are just kicking ass right now. And trust me, it is a kick-ass moment. This is a moment where we can all exist together and push and fight and do amazing things for liberty and learn. I mean, I'm always learning. But to kind of get to the understanding of why I wanted to do this, I want to bring people in to a soft landing, right? But I want it to be, obviously a radical landing. I want this to be one of those things where this does radicalize people to peace and liberty and consent, to first principles. This is what it has to be, right? Like, we've got amazing people from the redacted caucuses. We've got people from all over the spectrum of libertarianism and everybody else. But we have to be the people that can bring people that don't know into at least testing the waters. And I want you to think, I mean, as you were coming into libertarianism, was the entire world on fire? I mean, did we have this much tyranny, or was it, more of a slow, gradual thing for you that was a little bit nicer than the world is now, in terms of, how much the state was controlling things, or at least perceived to be controlling things? And I think the answer, if we're being honest, is the people who are waking up now are being hit, and they're all waking. A lot of people are waking up at the same time. This has to be a moment where our empathy, which we are terrible at as libertarians, we can be better, because I've seen it. I've seen amazing libertarians with huge hearts welcome people that they don't have a damn thing in common with, right? Absolutely nothing. And that's just the Libertarian Party. We're such a cross section of everybody that's out there, where, especially where we're. And I want to take this moment and talk about this, because I was there. I was you. If you are just starting to float out in space, to detach from a paradigm that has absolutely been blown out of existence in 2019 and 2020 and 2021. If you are frantically saying, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to look, I don't know who to trust, because everything in my life that I ever trusted, that I ever looked to, whether it was somebody in the news or in sports or in journalism or in faith or in, I don't know, whatever you trusted, and you're figuring out is built on a lie. That paradigm, that explosion, that shift, that moment where you just are taken, that doesn't fade overnight. It may not fade ever. And for a lot of people, especially in this moment, it's going to be dialed up to 10.